Hello, welcome to another 5-minute drawing lesson. Today we're going to do the Renault 4, another design classic. So we start off with the front wheel on the left hand side of the page there, and then we'll measure 1, 2 and 3/4 of a wheel further back and draw another one. Next thing we need is the bottom edge of the car, so halfway up the front wheel at the back edge there. Divide this back wheel up into quarters. We need a line going from that point there through there and out the back. And this is going to be slightly tricky because it's going to mean that all the rest of the car is going to have a slight tilt on it, but it's part of what gives the car its character. So now divide the front wheel up into quarters as well, add a quarter on top, and we need a line parallel to that one starting around there. Nearly parallel, it will be close enough. And another one, another quarter of a wheel further up, starting behind the front wheel, going back as well. Now we need the slope of the front windscreen. If you imagine where the front wheel touches the ground, we need a line going from there up, and it wants to be steeper than 45 degrees around there. And the back of the car, if this is a half a wheel from there to there, we add another half a wheel to this line here, and that would be where the back slope starts, and the slope needs to be steeper than that one, like that. And then one last parallel line which is going to have this distance here, this gap on top of there, and you can add a slight curve to it if you like, just the swing of your arm or something. And the front of the car is a very short overhang, so start where this line is and add just a bit of a vertical, and then it tucks in and meets the front wheel at about the halfway point. Then above this line we've got a slight curve going up across the bonnet. It looks a bit like a mini Clubman at the moment, doesn't it? But it will all change when we add the doors and things. So those doors, we go to the 1-2 wheel mark, maybe just take a tiny piece off and do a line that's perpendicular to that one, so it wants to be, it just wants to be tilted slightly, not vertical to the page, because everything's got a tilt. And another one of those at the front edge that's level with that, but just in this bottom part, because the top part will have a slight curve. The back door is quite unusual. Just in front of the back wheel there, we need a slope going up that has the same sort of tilt as that, but in reverse, like that. And while we're at the back wheel there, we can chop the top off for our rear wheel arch, which is kind of squared off like that. So one last thing we need to do for our outline is to add a small curve at the top there, and a small curve there, and add a gently curving roof. And then we have a rear light that sticks out at that point, a bit lower down. Some bumpers, maybe one of those guards on. And now we need to make it feel a bit more three-dimensional, so we can do that by adding the ground, darkening the underside, adding the wheels on the far side, maybe an exhaust. And other details we need are things like the door handles, and we need to sort these windows out. So in here, curve the edges of the frames, a slightly bigger curve there, and this window at the back, you want to leave the rear pillar slightly thicker than the others. You can add the steering wheel and a seat, and you can show the pillars on the far side, and up into the roof you can see some of the roof. So just a bit of shading there. And then the usual bumps and scuffs. And also these sliding window details. And there we have it, there's a Renault 4. Hope you found that interesting. Let me know in the comments what car you'd like to see next, and I'll do some more soon.